Just gonna light a beautiful candle. I like having a candle lit. So I'm very excited. Still like this in my head, but I'm super excited to be sharing what I have for you today. It was definitely a week of big realizations. It was a week of things being brought to light that were massive game changers. It was definitely a week of, wow, okay, it's time for the next level. It was definitely a week of my healing journey is now, and it's time for my expansion. It's time for me to wreak everything that I have embodied from the time that I've had to grow. And you know, my four-month healing journey was beautiful, and I've sort of been sitting in this container of sort of, you know, taking 2 steps forward and 1 step back within my life and within my business, and not quite sure, well, I want to go this way. No, because I had so much that came into my field that it was almost like it was, what do I do with all this? It was a lot of different things that came up and came through and were brought to my attention, because as you know, part of my healing journey was 2 weeks of basically sitting in a room staring at the ceiling and just meditating and allowing everything to unfold. As I did my journey with Notarai, the beautiful plant medicine. And that was life-changing in its own. And I think I've had so many game changers in the last, if not 8 years, definitely last probably 6 months. There's been so much that's been coming through and moving and shifting me where I need to be. And I just spent a week, well, not a week, it was 4 nights really, in the Gold Coast with my mentor. And I actually stayed with him and his divine wife. And, you know, I got to see it in action. I got to see a successful person living their life to their fullest potential in everything they do, with the energy of just unbelievable. I watched the flow-based reality happening right in front of me. And I've sort of been sitting in a space of being a little bit, you know, flow-based reality, you know, everything's great, waiting for things to come to me. And, you know, it's like I've gone all the way to the other side. So I've gone from being a person that was an action, hustle, go, to now being a person that, with the last sort of 4 or 5 months, to being like, oh, everything's lovely, you know, real flow, it feels good, do it. And it's like you've gone from one side of the pendulum to the other. And there's I've gone from being what I thought was balanced to actually being unbalanced. I've definitely been unbalanced. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about that possibly another time. And I did have a massive live, and things are really coming through me that I want to share. But I really want to wait until there's a time where, and I'm sort of feeling tomorrow is going to be the day where it's just going to be like, oh my God, this is it. Because something I've been working on has now shifted. And what happens is that, you know, as I said, that, and what I said on this was that it was a big week of realizations, and we can be going on our path of what we think is towards our greatest joy, our greatest flow, our greatest one, our beautiful purpose. And then all of a sudden we can see something that's just that little switch that goes click, and you're like, oh my goodness, I see it now. I see what I'm supposed to be doing. I see where I'm supposed to be going. And you can see it with such crystal vision that you end up almost, which is where I am now, being put into feel like you've been put into a washing machine, spun round, and you're sort of going, well, this is just such beautiful clarity. I know exactly where I want to go and what I want to be. And now I'm sitting here digesting it all. I'm in that state of it's still unfolding. Like, it was a massive week, and you know what I learned, and a couple of little things I want to share with you today, is that it's okay to be unbalanced. You know, it's okay to go from, like, as I said, from the action to the flow-based reality. It's okay to be unbalanced. When you come back to balance is when you really get that beautiful forward motion. And when you're building and growing and moving, being unbalanced is what you need to be doing, because it's like an athlete, you know, like they are, I just go, 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 go. They're just, their nutrition, their exercise, their focus, they've got their streamline on one thing, and they've got goals, and they've got towards this goal that they have, you know, being in the Olympics or whatever it might be. So they live and breathe and eat and do everything they need to get to that point, and they exercise and they train, and you know, everything else gets put to the side. And I feel that's where I've been with my healing journey. I've been on such a healing journey, and a lot of us go down this track, absolutely. And you know, I've been on such a healing journey that I haven't brought in the action side of what I need to be, because I've been like all my life hustle, hustle, hustle. And I'm sure, you know, that you're sitting there going, oh my God, this is me. You know, I've been always in action, hustle, go, 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 go. And that's the old paradigm of how we were taught and how to do things. And then I went all the way to the side, and it's like, that's great. Like, I feel very zen. I feel really in my body. I know what my body needs. I've really connected to my soul. I've really allowed my heart to be open. I've gone through a beautiful healing journey of actually coming back into my center. You know, like I really have a higher self connection. You know, I'm my chakras are alive. I'm feeling that beautiful sense of embodiment of my soul, and you know, it's beautiful. It's juicy. It's lovely. It's euphoric. It's nice. And then we need to go to that stage. This is what I learned this week, is the embodiment stage of the two of them. So you can, you know, a lot of times you're either on total action, or you're sitting in this beautiful place of, action's masculine, flow-based reality, you could say, is feminine. So it's like I've now embodied the two of them, and my masculine, feminine, yin, yang, action to flow-based reality has now come together. And I got such clarity that I was to come back into balance with the two of them, but come back into balance, but yet be still unbalanced, which is like, what? So now that I have come back into balance within myself, I'm now taking the expansion within my business, because what I have learned is 100% what I'm teach. What you go through is 100% what you teach. It's the universal flow of alignment. And so I say it's still unfolding. I was actually going to be releasing a program, and I've now put that on hold. And because it was like what I have just learned is going to mold into just such an amazing thing. I have to talk about that later. But so I'm sitting in a place now, still going through integration. And I wanted to come on and just, you know, share with you just a few things. I mean, as I said, you know, I watched in action somebody who is where I desire to be, who is an embodiment of, has what I want, just embodies it. And, you know, the different things that I have learned are just, it's phenomenal. You know, I watched somebody with the mindset, as I said yesterday, I watched him get up at 6 a.m., well, really, when he woke up, and walk across the road and hop in the Miami beach. You know, he'd be straight into the surf. And that's how he invigorated and woke up. Cold showers. You know, I watched, you know, the way that, the way he reacted, and what different things that he did, and how his persona was, and how his posture, and how he was with people, and how he showed up within his own life, how he showed up to other people in their life, how he was such a giver, how he just, incredible. And look, I've known this person for 15 years. So I've watched the evolution, so to speak, of him. And what I look at now is that he can be completely imbalanced. Like, he has just embodies it. So, you know, getting into his energy was just huge. The one thing I have realized, it is now time for me to relinquish a lot of my healing journey and move into my center, move into my expansion, and move forward on my own path. And this is one of the big things that I got, that I want to share with you today, is to stay on your own path. Stay on your own path. even if you feel like it's, "Wow, what am I doing?" And this has been me the last probably 2-3 weeks. What am I actually doing? Where am I going? It's like I had all these things coming into my mind. I had all these ways to go, B, C, and but I didn't feel, it was like a confusion because there was so much coming in. And I'm like, well, which way's right? Which way's wrong? Should I do this? Shouldn't I do this? And I've gained such clarity on the different things that I should do. And I'm going to share this with you tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow I'm going to share it with you. And I'm also going to share more of the journey I had, and share with you what's next, because it's just been, still can't articulate. It's crazy. It's been such a beautiful unraveling for me to realize that I am on my right path, and so are you. You're absolutely on your right path. I talk about the path, and then all of a sudden we have to go left. Oh, learned a lesson, back I came. Right, learned a lesson, back I came. So it's really, it's even when we don't feel like we're on the right path, and I get a lot of people say, how do I know I'm doing my soul purpose? How do I know? How do I know? And I think it's a great question to ask, but it's also a great thing to allow to unfold, because when we push at that, it's just a force energy. And I have allowed myself in the last 4 months to sit back and watch it unfold. And I had things come through to me like, do a healing school. I had things come through to me like, and incorporate the Reiki with it, and then do this, do that, do this, do that, do a womb remembrance workshop. All these things, all these ideas, and I've just been like, which one do I do? Which one do I actually do? What feels in alignment? And they all felt in alignment. They all felt good. But I couldn't pinpoint the one that I was going to do, the one that was going to be right, because I was getting caught up in my head. And then when I just allowed, and I said, well, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just going to allow it to all friggin' unravel. I'm just going to allow it to all align, just all unravel. And then when I went down last week, and this week, and I spent that time with my mentor, it just clicked. And it's really funny too. It's like a breakthrough. It's not until that last moment that you sort of go, oh my God, of course. And it was the last I was with him when we had this 2-hour meeting, and we sat down, we unfolded my business, we unfolded what I was doing, we unfolded what I could bring, what my genius was, what how I was here, what my strengths were, what I'd been through to where I am, and what my mission was for women, and the healing, and the helping with the trauma, and the mental health, and all that thing. And it just started all ticking into place. And it was just like, you have to open yourself up first and then put yourself back into place. It's like, you have this beautiful jigsaw, and it's almost like you have to throw it up in the air, and then allow the pieces to lie where they need to lie. And then every now and again, you need to put a piece back, and a piece back, and a piece back when it feels right. But if you try to shove it all into the holes that it's not supposed to go into, because, it might actually go in there. It looks okay. It looks a little bit good. I'm not too sure. Maybe force it in, it might fit in that hole. Then the things it's not going to come out to the beautiful picture that it would have been. And your life is exactly the same. If you try to force those pieces in, then, you might do something and it doesn't quite feel in line, but you think you should do it, and then you get caught up in your head. And, it's the same as when you're actually, when you're going down, when you set yourself a goal, for instance, to lose weight. And it's the same sort of thing. I've got this big goal, and I'm going to force myself into it. This is what I'm going to do, instead of allowing the body to talk to you with what it needs. We're taught a lot of the old ways of doing things, because a lot of the old ways of doing things are really just marketing. It's just, do this because this is going to be the best thing for you. When in fact, and even when I did isogenics, I talked about my journey 10 years ago. When I started isogenics, that was like, do this. And it was great. But after a while, I started implementing the parts of me that felt good. I started listening more to my body. Yeah, that part, that felt good, but that doesn't really feel good, so I'm going to do this. And we just need to make sure that we're adapting in every moment, that we're moving and shifting, and we're doing what feels good, and we're staying on our own path. Now, this is actually a completely different life than what I was going to do. Isn't it amazing how it unfolds? But I know there is somebody out there that needs to know this, because we get caught up in our head about what we think we should be doing, or we should be doing this, or maybe I should be doing this, or oh, maybe I should be doing that. And then in the end, we just don't do anything, because we either sit in procrastination because we're trying to get this perfect thing to actually unfold, or we sit in the fact that we start comparing, oh no, that person does that, so I can't do that, or, you know, whatever. We get caught up in the imperfection of being perfect. And perfection is just a fucking illusion. Nobody is perfect. As long as you're doing, and this is one of the things that he taught to me, here's a gold nugget. And I've heard this before, but I wish I could hear exactly how he said it. It's the compounding within any life. You think about anything. If you are doing something constantly and a little bit more and a little bit more next day and a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more, all of a sudden it's like, holy shit. It's like, you know, it's like taking a certain percent of your money and putting it away for savings, or allocating it towards something. I don't like the word savings. It means that you don't think you're going to make enough anymore. You know, it's about, you know, it's about doing, like when I was coming out of my anxiety, my panic attacks, and my mind was just in all sorts of just, you know, I couldn't leave the house for 3 months. I was having to live on tablets to survive, to even leave my house. But every day, if I sat there and did 5 minutes of journaling, then 10 minutes, and then meditating for 5 minutes a day, and then 10 minutes, and then I increased it, and then I did the consistency, and every day I did something that was really good for my mind, just little things. It doesn't have to be I'm going to sit down and meditate for an hour tomorrow, and then I'm going to journal for 25 minutes. It doesn't have to be that. It's just little compounding movements that's making you a better person within yourself. That is it's the trick. It's the icing on the cake. It's the unraveling. Because as you're doing those little bits, you're actually unraveling parts of yourself. You're discovering bits of you. And I discovered so much when I was doing my journaling. It took me a long time to meditate because I was, you know, with where I was. But even just sitting and staring into space for 2 minutes was enough for me to start. And then I started progressing. So it's not about the race of getting to the end. It's about the in-between of discovering who you are. It's about doing the what I said, you know, with me, with the go, and then doing the healing journey and bringing them together, and then taking the aligned action forward. Whether it's mind, body, soul, business, it doesn't matter. Same as exercise. When you start doing a little bit each day, that little bit, you know, you get up and you go for a 10-minute walk. 10-minute walk. And then you're like, oh, it feels quite good. I'm going to go for 15 minutes. Compounding. And all of a sudden you're running, or you're walking for an hour and a half, and you feel really good. You feel energized. You're feeding your mental, you know, we talked about anxiety and the mental health. You're feeding your mind with this beautiful rush of divine energy flow. Endorphins are kicking off. So do things, and this was a really big thing for me, and I realized that, you know, I had got down also to the stage that I was doing a little bit of this, 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 and he said to me, I want you to go for that all. I want you to walk down in the morning, because I get up at 4:35 and I go for meditation, and I used to set my clock. He said, don't set your clock. Don't set your clock. Go and sit there for as long as you need to sit there. Of course, you know, at 6:30 I'll tell Neil to come and get me, my hubby, in case I'm still there. He said, just sit there for as long as you need, as long as your body will allow, as long as you're in that moment, because it may be 5 minutes or it may be an hour, and every day is absolutely fine for however length it is. As long as you're doing the aligned action, you're always moving forward with your life. And this can be in any area of your life. And instead, a lot of the times we sit there and we beat ourselves up. Oh, I didn't do my meditation today, or my journaling. Oh my God, you know, I'm such a failure. Well, you know what? No, you're not. Don't get caught up in the perfection, because it will paralyze you. The fun is being in the messiness. Oh my God, I meditated for 5 minutes and my mind was just freaking crazy. You know what? Relish in the fact that you sat there for 5 minutes and tried. Well freaking done. Well done. This is seriously a completely different life than what I was going to do. So I'm just going to go with it. But you know what? See, now I could be sitting here going, oh no, this wasn't what I was going to do. I was going to share this. I was going to share that. Oh my goodness. But you know, when I got on here, I was like, no, this is where I'm going to flow to, because this is what I feel that some people need to hear right now. Stay in your own path. Stay in your own lane. That is something has been coming up for me in a huge way, because I've been thinking, well, maybe I should be doing that, or maybe I should be doing that, or that person's doing that. Maybe I should be doing that. But does it feel good? No, but maybe I still should, because what if I'm missing out? And that's another thing, FOMO. Oh, good God, don't get me started on FOMO. Do what feels right for you deep down in your gut. Because that is your higher self talking to you. That is the part of you that knows. That is your navigation system. That is the part that's going to navigate you to exactly what feels good for you and where you need to go and what you need to be doing, feeling, seeing, and embodying. And then when you do that compounding of a little thing every day to keep growing and growing and growing and get out of the perfectionism of it all. That was a tongue twister. I'd love to hear if there's anything that you're holding off on because you're either getting caught up in the perfectionism, or you're stopping not doing it because you're like, oh, I can't do it, or you're just getting caught up in that momentary mindness of maybe not, the confusion, the chaos, the thinking that you have to be perfect, or you have to be somebody else, or whatever it may be. Allow yourself to stay in your lane. It's one of my favorite sayings at the moment. Stay in your lane, Lisa. So even when I'm looking on Facebook and I see something, and I see, I see a lot of, at the moment, segregation, which is just crazy. It's crazy. We all need to come together from love. And you know what? I don't sit there and judge it. I don't think about it. I just stay in my own lane and I send love. And I do what's needed. So this week coming, I'm getting crystal clear. I'm bringing everything together. Getting very clear. I got very clear on my goals, on my mission, as I said at the start, on where I'm going, on what I'm doing. I've got a 30-day. I really want to help with mindfulness. I've shifted into a space of knowing that trauma, mental health, anxiety, healing is my jam. It's absolutely 100% my jam. And when I say abundance, abundance is love, pleasure, play, happiness, joy. It's not just money. It's the whole thing. It's the beautiful euphoric feeling of being able to wake up in the morning and know you're doing the best you can with what you've been given, and that you're moving forward on your own path, and that you're safe, and that you're okay. And the mindfulness that comes with it, and the clarity and the expansion and the embodiment of doing what's best for you has such a roll-on effect. Huge. If you've been following me, it's the work. It's everything I've done in the last 8 years. It's been huge. Huge. And it takes, the good old saying, takes 28 days to create a habit. Well, I reckon it takes 28 days to embody perfection. Did you hear that? There is no such thing as perfection. So just keep going, in other words, because you're never going to get there, but you're just going to become a better version of you every single day if you keep doing it, if you keep moving forward, if you keep compounding, working on you, one more little thing each day. How are you going to help your mind today? How are you going to help your body today? What are you going to do for your soul? What are you going to do for your physical body? What are you going to do for your mental body? What are you going to do for your spiritual body? What are you going to do for your business? What do you want to be doing within your soul? Career, soul purpose. What feels good? How do you remove the clutter? That's what we're going to do. I'm so excited. And on the other thing that rolled out was, and I'm going to talk about this tomorrow. I've got new retreat dates, which I'm so excited about as well. It's like, yeah, the time feels good for March, baby. Whoop, whoop. Anyway, I'm rambling now. I'm going to go. I'm going to send you so much love as always. honestly, I could probably do, I actually will do next week, 1 day on one gold nugget. It was just so expansive what I learned. But I'm going to keep the juiciness for the program because it's going to bring it all together and it's going to go boom. All right, my darling heart, sending you so much love as always. Thank you for coming in and giving me the beautiful, precious commodity of your time, and sending you all love. See you tomorrow. Hey, thank you so much for watching my video. If this resonated with you, make sure you hit like and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of my magical videos all around manifestation, holistic healing, spirituality, and why I show and tell you why I call myself the Life Architect. Sending you all so much love.